Welcome to the overview video for the Employee Self-Service in HR Simplified. After this video, you will understand the overall layout of the ESS, how to use it, and where to find what you are looking for. We will be looking at the dashboard first, where most actions start, and then move on to the different focused sections and what to expect. Let's get started by logging into the system as an employee. We start with the home page or dashboard. This section gives the employee access to their leave balances, the actionable items like submitting leave and claims, and any requests that are awaiting their action. Important notes to keep in mind about leave and leave days. Firstly, if an employee has submitted leave for a future date and it is approved by the manager, the leave days will be deducted from the employee's balance on the day the leave is approved. Secondly, leave accrual, or the increase of leave based on the annual allocation, happens on the first day of each month. Thirdly, the unpaid leave type does not have a balance that will be displayed on your dashboard. Lastly, if leave has been approved, it cannot be canceled anymore. The employee needs to go to the leave request and retract the leave. This will issue a retraction request to the manager for approval, and once approved, the leave days will be credited back to the employee. Let's start by looking at the leave request process. To submit a leave request, simply click on the Apply for Leave button and complete the pop-up modal. Make sure to complete the entire form. This should include picking the leave type, if it is a half-day leave, during what part of the day you will be taking the leave, the start date, and the end date. Note that the start date and end dates are inclusive in the leave duration. A note must always be added to explain what the leave is for, and a document or image can be attached to the leave request for supporting motivations like a sick note from the doctor. Once submitted, the leave request is immediately sent to the manager, and they can process the leave as soon as they are able to on the system. The process includes email notifications to all parties to ensure it is actioned as soon as possible. The claim process allows the employee to claim for expenses or overtime. These requests, just like the leave requests, will go to the manager for approval. Start by selecting Submit Claim and completing the modal. Select what you want to claim for, expenses or overtime. The employee does not need to add currency or time indicators. The forms will only accept numbers with a decimal. Once again, add a note and an attachment for motivation. It is important to note that claims are approved before they are processed. The approval happens by the manager, and the processing will happen afterwards by a finance user before it is paid out. If the claim stays in approved status, the employee should follow up with their HR manager for processing. We can now move on to the time and attendance actions, check in and check out. Note that if your company has only subscribed to the HR packages, these check-in and check-out buttons will not be available. When first an employee logs into the HR Simplified system, the browser will ask the user if they allow the sharing of their location. It is important for the employee to select the correct setting based on guidance from their HR policies. When the location sharing is authorized, the check-in and check-out actions will record the location. It is simple to check in and check out using the correct buttons. This will start and stop a timer that will record the time spent on tasks. When the checkout is selected, the employee must select the task they were busy with from the drop-down, add a note, and indicate if they think the time is billable or not. All these entries will be listed under the My Time menu in the Time and Attendance section. Here, the employee can select the time entries they feel should be sent to the manager for approval. This concludes the overview of the dashboard, and we can now move on to the next section where the employee can access their data and update required information. The next sections cover the employee profile data, the claims and leave requests, the assets assigned to the employee, and finally, the documents and forms in the system. On My Profile, the employee has access to their personal contact details that they can maintain. They can view their job description, their skills, qualifications, and work history. The last three menu items show a view of where the employee fits into the department, branch, and teams on an organogram. On My Finances, the employee can see all the expense and overtime claims that they have submitted and their status. On My Leave, the employees can see all their leave requests, as well as retractions and their respective status. On My Assets, the employee will see all assets that have been allocated to them by the company and allow the employee to order consumable stock from the company. This will only be available if the Asset Management module has been activated. Lastly, we arrive at My Documents. This section contains quite a few important items where the system require interaction by employees. This will include completing performance assessments, filling in surveys, signing HR notes, uploading of your own documents, and acknowledgement of company documents. The My Shared Documents will allow the employee to see private documents that have been shared with them by the HR team. This includes payslips and any other important documents. The employee can also upload such documents when requested by HR. The Employee Notes tab will show the employee any HR notes that has been loaded on their profile, as well as the notes that require a signature from the employee. This will require the employee to sign the note inside the system. All notes can be downloaded by the employee to ensure they have a copy in PDF. The next tab to look at is the Shared Organization Documents. This tab will list all the general documents that the company has shared with all employees. This could include forms, policy documents, and so forth. If a company policy or other type of document requires the employee to acknowledge that they have read the document, this is where the employee can do so. The acknowledgement is recorded in the system for auditing reasons. The employees can also download a copy of the documents for themselves from anywhere. Moving on to the next tab takes us to the Performance Management section. This is where the performance assessments are located. The employee can open these assessments and complete their self-assessment as the first step in the process before finalizing the assessment when the process is completed. The employee can also download copies of their earlier assessments for their own records. The last tab will be where employees can find surveys that have been allocated to them to complete. These can be surveys of any kind, and once completed, the employees can download or view their responses. We trust that this video has been valuable and give you a good overview of the employee self-service in the HR Simplified system. You are welcome to send requests to our support team by using the Help widget in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.